It is a big 11 race program coming up at Sha Tin this Sunday, and it's a good meeting as well. There's a focus on the 4-year-old series. There's a Group 3 race down the straight with some top sprinters going around in it, and there's some mammoth jackpots as well. Joined in the studio to preview it all by Paul Lally and Nick Child. And Nick, the more you look at this meeting, the better it gets.
You certainly do, Mark. Absolutely. Look, it's a tremendous meeting. I mean, look, the group race down the straight is going to be a super race, but it's the reputations, I think, of some of these young horses that are really going to be put to the sword, and can't wait to see them in action.
We've got race number 8, which we're going to focus on for the 4-year-old series, the last race also, with some very promising up-and-comers, and you're going to spread the cash around, Paul.
There's plenty of cash here on Sunday with a really good jackpot going into the triple trio. 30 million, I'm expecting it to get up to 10 million for the 6-up win bonus as well. So really good. And that race is race 8. It looks like it's a sort of almost an extra 4-year-old series race, isn't it? Because it's a preview to the 4-year-old series.
So yeah, I like your thinking there. The lead up we will see for the Classic Mile upcoming in the next few weeks. Now we've got a scratching or two to pass on. Firstly, race 3. We're not going to smell a little what the Rocker's cooking this week because he's come out race 3, number 6, and race 4, 7, Devil and Gold has been replaced by Lady's Choice with Luke Ferraris. So race 4, number 7. The meeting details, they look this way. Early start again because we've got to squeeze in that extra race. We've got 8 on the turf, C+3 the rail position, and 3 on the all-weather. 12:30 kick-off time, that's local. There's a Class 1, the 3rd. There's races 8 and 9 that we're going to focus on the show here. The Class 3 over the 1600 and the Group 3, the Bohinia Sprint Trophy. Race number 8 it is first, and we've got Sweet Encounter carrying an extra £3 for his last start win over the 1800. Comes back in trip. Viva Chaleur wide draw again. Find My Love missed the start last time. Bonza Perla goes up in trip to the 1600. Ivy League blinkers off. The Shadow Roll goes on. Majestic Colour and also Thesis both wear a tongue tie for the first time. Gallant Waking comes back to Sha Tin. We've got Drombeg Banner going up from the 12 to the 1600. Never raced beyond 1200 in Ireland or here in Hong Kong. And down the bottom, Publicist has the blinkers and the tongue tie both being removed. So as Paul said, Nick, it is really a prelude for the 4-year-old series, this race, but there might not be too much speed on in it.
No, look, I don't think there will be, actually. And look, Sweet Encounter, obviously an interesting runner. He's drawn well, and he has been prominent in a few races so far. So I think it's up for grabs, this lead, and given that he's in gate 2, I think it might well go the way of him. Publicist could show a bit of speed. Also, you've got Majestic Colour, who wasn't too far away on his debut, Paul. I think he might just get a nice slipstream into this race, given that he's drawn 4. Yeah,
exactly. And Drombeg Banner is right up in trip as well. So he's another one with a bit of pace that can go forward. Publicist with the blinkers on, as you say, I think he can go forward as well. Find My Love, he missed the start last time, so he'll try and slot in their midfield. And Gallant Waking, who we've seen so well at Happy Valley, he's coming here to Sha Tin, but he gets back anyway.
No chance of seeing Find My Love ridden further forward if he jumps better, do you think?
It's a possibility as well. I mean, I think they'll try and find cover whatever happens. They won't want to be wide.
All right, so that is a look at the speed map for race number 8. But the likely favourite is going to be Sweet Encounter. Tom was at track work out at Sha Tin yesterday to catch up with his rider, Zach Purton.
Zach, Sweet Encounter, a horse that you've jumped aboard twice now for 2 wins. How have you rated those last couple of performances?
Yeah, they've both been good. You know, he's got a good style. He gets up there on the speed, keeps himself out of trouble, and I think they've been soft wins.
Those last couple of wins off the back of when he was defeated 3 back, could that have been a blessing in disguise for a horse like him to sort of get that experience of having to get through between runners and learn a lot through that?
Possibly. You don't want him to make a habit of it, though. He's not the most straightforward horse in the gate, so I'd prefer him to continue to jump well and just keep doing everything right.
He's drawn 2. Is it a case of just letting him jump and find his feet and get him into a rhythm where he's comfortable?
Yeah, I'm not sure. John might want him to lead, so if that's the case, then I'll be pushing to try and lead. But if he tells me otherwise, then I'll do what I'm told.
He's trolled up on the all-weather the other week. Happy with what he did there?
Yeah, it's just a matter of keeping him ticking over, really. Just kept him out of trouble and let him roll around.
Of the smorgasbord of options you've got for the 4-year-old series, at this point, where does sort of Sweet Encounter stack up against the likes of Beauty Verse and also Packing Treadmill, who was impressive again?
Well, he doesn't have the rating of those horses at the moment, but you know, he's lightly raced and he's still on the way up, so he's got to prove himself again on the weekend.
Zach Purton there on Sweet Encounter, Nick, and as we have a look at his graphic card on screen right now, he's just a horse that has done a great job from the word go here.
He absolutely has, Mark. And look, arguably, there'd be many out there that would argue that he probably should be unbeaten. He was desperately unlucky, Paul, when he was defeated 3 starts ago behind Stunning Impact. But since then, he's looked very impressive.
He has, hasn't he? And look, he's going to get the race run to suit as well, I think, from a low draw with not too much pace in the race. Just the query I have is he's got to carry 135 and see if he can carry that, no problem.
That is Sweet Encounter. We're going to stick with the interviews now. We've heard from the jockey of the 1 horse, the trainer of the 2 horse, Viva Chaleur, is Casper Founds. Here he is with Tom.
Speaking of races that have been put on, Viva Chaleur going around in the restricted race for the 4-year-olds. You must have been delighted with how he finished off his second start.
Yeah, he's a very progressive horse. He's still a little bit on the chewy. He wants to jump and get on with things. You know, he hasn't really understood what we're asking of him, but once he starts to drop the bit and be a bit more relaxed in his races, we'll see a horse with definitely in triple figures.
Were you worried about him at all second up, considering what happened first up, if that was going to knock his confidence at all?
No, I don't think so. He's tough. He's a mentally strong horse. You know, he's still a bull. He's got a great temperament, so we've kept him intact at this stage. And, you know, obviously we're stepping up. He hasn't been at this trip ever. So he's drawn 11. We'll just be snagging him and switching him off, and hopefully he'll work with Huey and give us a chance to see him hit the line strong.
Quick comment as well on Packing Hurricane, who's got barrier 1 with only 115 pounds on his back.
Yeah, again, a horse, you know, he's slowly getting there, but will probably be about 3-4 runs away before he starts to be competitive.
Casper Founds there on his couple of runners in race number 8. Our first replay, Nick, features Majestic Colour. This was his debut in Hong Kong. Had a nice run, but kept on well down the straight.
He absolutely did, yeah, really encouraging run this. I think what could be key to him this time around second up, he's sporting a tongue tie for the first time as well, and that can help horses plenty. But I like the way he's kept on here. The other horse that Casper was mentioning there, Packing Hurricane, he's also out of this race a little bit further back. But I thought this was a very encouraging local debut, Paul.
Yeah, good debut. They're going to put the tongue tie on as well for the second start coming into this. He's drawn nicely in barrier number 4. Karis Teton will be aboard. So look, he's going to get his opportunity. We'll see if he can step up.
The horse that beat him, Murado Flying, and there was a stack of money for Winner Method that ran second. Fine by Love, Paul. What we don't see in this replay is he made a mess of the start, recovers to run 6th. You were big on him this day. Do we go again this week?
I think he's going to be a big price once again. So yeah, I'm happy to go with him. He's by Frankel, this horse. The further the better leading into the 4-year-old series for him. He's had 2 runs now, so he'll be right at his fitness. Again, you know, he had this little problem where he did miss the start, but he's going to be a big price, so I'm happy to find out.
Yeah, and he was a handy horse when trained overseas as well, so he's certainly got the ability. Wouldn't shock to see him bring it to the races here.
Packing Treadmill, the winner of that race. Now, Bonza Perla, Nick, this was her debut over 1,400. She has placed over a mile in the Group 1 Australian Guineas at Flemington and the Group 3 Alexandra Stakes at Moonee Valley. So the step up in trip, no problem.
Absolutely, and she's got the class mark, as you've alluded to, and she's come from a fair way back on this occasion as well. So, look, she clearly has you know, come through all of her preparation for this this debut nicely, and look, she's run a very eye-catching race, Paul, to suggest that next time might be the time to get on her, and she has £4 less to carry, which can't be a bad thing.
No, and she hit the line strongly, didn't she? Super Sunny Sings come out and won again since as well, so that's ranked that for.
That is Bonza Perla. Next up, Paul, we head to Gallant Waking over at Happy Valley. He showed plenty as a young horse, but since they've given him the snip, he's certainly gone to another level.
Hasn't he? He's had a really good season to date, with plenty of wins this season as well. Look, he's got a good turn of foot, this horse. If the pace is on, it's really going to suit him. I'm going to include him because I don't think he's the worst in this race, and he's already proven that he's acclimatised well in Hong Kong, and he's had 10 starts.
Yeah, he's a nice horse. And look, 0 from 3 here at Sha Tin probably doesn't tell the full story because, as you mentioned, Mark, he was still a colt back then as well. So, yeah, it's certainly worth another crack here at the bigger track.
All right, it's a good report for a Gallant Waking from the boys. Now, we've got a few 4-year-olds to look at here, so you can chat through this as you like. There's 3 pages of the 4-year-olds. Nick, we'll start with you. On that page, who are you focusing on at this stage?
Well, look, there's one in triple figures, obviously Keithy, very smart, but Packing Treadmill for me, I think, is a lovely horse, and he just continues to deliver. But there are some good horses on that list, Paul. Yeah,
I agree with you, those top 2. And look, history's proven you sort of need 100 to win the Derby, and Keithy's already got there as well. Tuchel's had some issues, so he needs to get back and get some points, but we know he's got plenty of ability as well. We'll see Majestic Colour, Sword Point will go round on Esmeralda's amazing victory, and Thesis will go round as well. Look, I liked Encountered win last start.
Yeah, he was good. Obviously, Gallant Waking on that list, and on that page, well, a real sort of standout possibly going forward is Nordic Dragon. He's 2 from 2, and there's a few names further down the list that certainly would need to improve, but they're a fair bunch, I think, and wouldn't shock to see some of those handicap marks be elevated as we work towards the series.
A number on that third page are racing at this meeting as well. So that's a real focus on race number 8 and the 4-year-olds and where they rank currently. But who ranks as the lead pick in race number 8, Paul?
Well, I think Sweet Encounter is going to be odds on in this race, and he's going to be hard to beat. There's no question. If they leave Zach alone, he can win it. I'm going to go with Find My Love at a price, though. I think he's 37s at the moment. He's a really good each-way price. So Find My Love on top. I'll make him the each-way player of the meeting. Sweet Encounter, obviously tough to beat. Viva Chaleur looked really good on his last start. And Gallant Waking coming to Sha Tin. Did run 4th at Sha Tin in one of his starts. 4, 1, 2 and 9.
Yeah, I'll go the toppy here, Sweet Encounter. Look, he's going to be a short price, granted, but I think he's the one to beat, and all what he's done in only 5 starts so far has been very impressive. So he'll go on top over Viva Chaleur, who I think is a definite improver going forward. He continues to step forward with every start here in Hong Kong. Majestic Colour gets a tongue-tying Karis Teton going on. I think they're 2 positives, and his debut was good. And Bonza Perla didn't want to leave her out on the back of what was a very eye-catching run there on her local debut. 1, 2, 7 and 5 for me.
And that is a preview of race number 8. On the way to the break, a reminder about Hong Kong Direct this week. Casper Founds joins the show to talk about Skyfield and a possible trip to Dubai. And Tom catches up with a very suave and relaxed-looking Alexi Bedell prior to his return to the saddle on Sunday. But we're off to a break here on Racing to Win. You can find Hong Kong Direct and all the races outside of the ones we preview here on the website, hkjc.com. Just click on Audio and Video. Welcome back to Racing to Win as we have a look at a big day coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday. Our second race to preview on the show is the Group 3, the Bohemia Sprint Trophy, down the straight 1,000 metres. We've got Skyfield at the top of the book, 2 from 2 as far as starts and placing goes down the straight. Super Wealthy wears cheek pieces again. Courier Wonder's done all of his racing in 12 starts over further. Cordyceps 6 knows the straight. He's a 4-time winner down the stretch. Duke Y, no hood this week for him. Computer Patch ran 6th in the race last year. That was behind last year's winner, Master 8. Kerpenny has the blinkers coming off. Campione comes up in grade. All of his racing in Hong Kong's been over the 1,200, but he did win over 1,000 metres in Rome. And Lucky With You wears cheek pieces for the first time. Quality race here, Nick, with a bit of speed. Nervous Witness has plenty, though.
Yeah, there'll be a whole host of speed on here for sure. Nervous Witness, he's drawn 2, so he's going to have to come across more from sort of the centre of the track if he's to find himself near that rail, if that's where he wants to be. Campione in 5, he shouldn't be too far away. He's got plenty of early pace, and Kerpenny is another one who can go forward. Now, he's drawn 12, Paul, so he'll at least have a better position closer to that stands rail.
Yeah, I think he will initially lead, but Nervous Witness will eventually cross him. He only knows one way, Nervous Witness, and that's sort of flat out, because even in his track work, he sort of pulls and carries on. He just wants to get to the front.
We'll have a look at his trial soon, but first, Paul, here are the previous winners of the race. Master 8 trying to go back-to-back. Joe Moreira rode last year. He'll be partnered this year by Karis Teton.
Yeah, no, and obviously he's a chance as well, Master 8. Explosive Witness came from the back when he won. Big Party was from the front. So they win from everywhere here.
Yeah, good race. We get another good winner this year, I think.
And we had Explosive Witness win it 2 years ago for trainer Casper Founds, and he's the trainer of both Skyfield and Kerpenny.
Casper, Skyfield, another top effort in the international with sprint. How did you rate the performance at that top level again?
Yeah, with a lot of merit, Tom. He's been a very consistent horse, always puts in for us. That's what he is. He's tough and strong, and gives us a big effort every time we send him to the races.
He hasn't, of course, won since the 2021 sprint, but where do you feel he's at the moment?
Yeah, he's back in good form. Obviously, we go to the race on the weekend under handicap conditions. He's carrying a big weight. He's run well down that straight a few times already, and shows that he'll be strong to the line the last part of the race. And like anything, it's just a nice race going forward to set him up for his next start, and then we plan to take him to Dubai after that.
You mentioned he's run well down the straight in the past, and in that effort, National Day Cup I think it was, he was a lot handy. That was a smaller field. Could we potentially see him race handy again?
No, I don't want him to race too handy. He'll be back and he'll be working on hitting the line.
You sent him up to Chung Fa. Is he one of those horses that benefits with the more relaxed environment up there?
100%. You know, Chung Fa is a godsend for us. It's been great for horses in Hong Kong. Really gets them in the zone, gets them to focus, gets a lot less traffic up there. Conditions are better because we get to work on the grass with these horses, which is really, really good. It's not overtaxing on them, and it certainly helps in their preparation going forward.
You mentioned travelling to Dubai. You're not afraid of travelling a horse. Is he the type of horse that you think would handle that sort of racing well over there?
Yeah, I think he'd love it, you know. Just deciding on which race we go for. You know, it's probably going to be the straight 6, but there's also a dirt there, which he's trialled extremely well on the dirt surfaces here. So I might give him a pre-race on that dirt surface to see if he handles it well. But at this stage, we go for the straight 6, the Alquaz Sprint.
What about Kerpenny? He's in the races well. Where's he at the moment? Is he on an awkward rating?
Very awkward rating on 107. You know, there's not many races for him. But, you know, I see they put one race on at the Valley, a 110 race, so we'll be targeting that race for him in early Feb.
You happy enough with his recent trial down the back straight at Chung Fa?
Yeah, he looks good. You know, he's in good form. They're probably just a little bit too classy for him because he won those races and got so high up in the ratings that it becomes tough once you do that, you know. So like anything, what goes up must come down, and we'll just see. As long as there's some races put on for these types of horses, then you can pick and choose and give the owners some chance to get some stake money, because it's quite expensive in Hong Kong now, you know, paying for these horses, and we certainly want to have some opportunities where they get a chance to race for the clients.
Casper Founds on his runner Skyfield and also Kerpenny. On we go to item 29 on the rundown, which is the HKIR Sprint. We've got a few to look at here, Nick, with Sight Success going a massive race. He draws beautifully in 14, coming back in trip. Skyfield, who we just heard from Casper, he's well back here, but he comes back in trip too. Courier Wonder is in the white and orange and blue colours. You can barely see Cordyceps 6. He's just on the outside of Wellington. We've got Super Wealthy. He'll like the 1,000 metres. He's a little wider on the course too. Stronger is in the yellow and black colours, and Duke Y is back at the tail end. So there's arrows and circles everywhere. Take your pick who you want to talk about.
Well, I guess we'll start with Sight Success. I mean, he's run a race well and truly out of the box on this occasion, hasn't he, behind our very best sprinter in the shape of Wellington. But there were some very good runs in behind. I thought Courier Wonder's performance here, Paul, was also full of merit. Now, this is probably one of his better runs. He has been a little bit hot and cold from time to time, but he was good on this occasion. But this is certainly the form race coming into this, surely.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Courier Wonder hasn't raced down the straight, so that's just a little query. Look, the two I'm going to focus on are the 1,000-metre specialists, which is Super Wealthy, 4 starts, 3 wins, and Cordyceps 6. And he's won 5 down the straight as well. So I think coming back to the 1,000 metres is going to suit both those two, as well as Skyfield. I think Skyfield likes the straight.
They rode him forward, Skyfield, a couple of starts go down the straight, didn't they?
And he actually stayed on really well.
He did. All right, off to the trials here, Paul. Here's Campione, another speedy type, but another one that has yet to run down the straight here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, has won over 1,000 overseas before he got here, Campione. Look, the query I've got with him is he's showing he's slightly better on the all-weather than he is here on the turf, although he has won on the turf before. I think this is a really rich test for him. He likes to lead on his own, and he won't get that in this race.
No, absolutely not. And as Mark alluded to there a few moments back, that he was a winner over this sort of trip when trained in Europe. So very speedy 2-year-old back then, and he's still speedy now.
Across we go to Happy Valley. This is rewarding together. He's been back to Chung Fa and trialled and won a trial up there, but he's a horse with a very good record.
He is. He's a very decent type of horse, and he's just been building up all the time, hasn't he? And Happy Valley really has been a happy hunting ground for him. But 0 from 7 here at Sha Tin. He's run some good races in defeat, Paul. First go down the straight is interesting.
Yeah, look, I'm going to include him on a very minor line because he's a horse who's in really good form. By Piero, you wouldn't think 1,000 metres is his go, but he can win 1,200 easy enough at Happy Valley.
And off to the trials, we've got Nervous Witness in front. There he is. We know what he'll do. Last year's winner, Master 8. And Computer Patch Paul, the Wi-Fi just not quite full signal at the moment.
You've been waiting to do that all day. Yeah, look, he's not going as well as he has been in the past. Nervous Witness's biggest problem is Nervous Witness. He over races. If he can settle and get to the front, he can win. The problem is how is he going to go on the day?
Yeah, exactly that. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Paul. He just has that one way of going. He's a hard horse to harness. They've tried. I think he's better from the front, and when he's allowed to dictate, he can look very good. But he's looked good in these trials. Good to see him back in action as well, Mark, because he's a very, very talented horse. Can't wait to see him go.
He's had a couple of trials. The other one was at Happy Valley, where he ran second behind True Legend. In fact, the other one was at Happy Valley. He beat Pachisi. Master 8's had a trial as well behind True Legend. So that's a look at those. A couple there out of that trial. Paul, who wins?
I'm going to go with the specialist down the straight, Super Wealthy. He's 3 times from his 4 starts. He's won down the straight 1,000, and also the other horse, Cordyceps 6, he's won 4 from 10. So 2 to beat 6, 1 Skyfield and Rewarding together. 2, 6, 1 and 13.
Yeah, I've gone the 11 here, Nervous Witness. Fresh up, he has got a good record fresh, loves it down the straight. We'll go with him on top over Cordyceps 6, who was a course and distance specialist. Sight Success has been racing in good form. Master 8, winner of this race last year. I think he can go well once again. 11, 6, 3 and 9.
And 9 other races, Paul. Just give us 1 or 2 winners out of this list.
I think Des will win the first. The big boy, Run Des Run. He's coming back onto the all-weather. He's dropped a little bit of weight, but I think he's a good chance. Handsome 12 comes in with a light weight. Another race on the all-weather, and I do like Dragon's Luck coming up in the last.
You can find them all on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. Best bet.
Going to go with Dragon's Luck. I know it's a tough race. He's 2 from 2, though. I think he can beat the other 2 main protagonists in the race, and he should be a reasonable price. I think Mighty Stride will be the favourite. Long Shot in race 8, he's going to be a massive price, and hopefully he can run well. He's looked really good at his last start, and he's really acclimatising well here. And in the sprint, we'll do the QQP 1, 2 and 6 with Skyfield, Super Wealthy, and Cordyceps 6.
Yeah, best bet for me will be in that race, race 9, number 11, Nervous Witness. Hopefully he's back to his best. I think he's good enough to win this, and he's a bit of a class act down the straight. The long shot, race 2, number 7, Shanghai Dragon. Not too badly treated on the pick of his form and has trialled well recently. Jerry Chow jumps on board, and the play, race 8, 1, 2 and 7, headed home by Sweet Encounter.
We will go at Ching, overdue for some luck. Race 5, number 4, good draw. Karis Teton for Michael Cheng. Newcomer 4, Ricky Ewers, the long shot. Reached goal, couple of trials, and they have looked pretty good. Derek Lung on board, and the play, race 5. Temra Blitz on the class drop, Golden Bull and Ching 1, 3 and 4. That has been racing to win. Nick, Happy Valley next Wednesday night. Some good jackpots, but this great meeting before we get there.
It absolutely is, Mark, and I think it's all about the potential going forward into this meeting.
That last race is going to be a Bobby Dazzler. Really looking forward to seeing those 3 up-and-coming horses come through.
We'll see you at Sha Tin for the first of 11 at 12:30. Bye-bye.